Hi everyone, this is Debbie Henderson from Debbie's Designs. Thanks so much for stopping in today. I'm assuming you are tuning in because you are a Paper Pumpkin subscriber or you want to know more about our kits. So today we're going to open up the September 2017 kit. I usually show you what's inside and I create a couple projects with you. This is new this month. Welcome. Thanks for choosing Paper Pumpkin. An announcement I want to make. If you join by October 10th, and I'll have the link to join at the end of my video, the October and November kits are going to coordinate together. So I'm anxious to see what that's going to be about. We can see what the boxes are going to look like already. And that's pretty much all we have for a hint right now. So let's see what's in the box for this month. Now, I ordered an extra box in my husband's name just so I could have two boxes. Because he's a new subscriber, he gets a clear block. So when you do subscribe as a new subscriber, you automatically get a clear block with your first kit. And these are really nice clear blocks. The stamp sets for this month has leaves on it. And keep calm and be thankful and thank you. And there's another one here I can't read until I stamp it. It's quite small. The ink spot for this month is Cajun Craze. And if you know me well, you know that I love fall. So I love all of the fallish colors. Now it looks like we're going to have some treats, 8 of them, along with 8 mini cards. So let's see what's inside. I also wanted to mention as I open up my kit, if you decide to join my team, and for those of you that are demonstrators, you get 20% off all of your Paper Pumpkin kits. That's your normal demonstrator discount. So that's another plus. Now these are the little pillow boxes. And if you'll notice, they have some embossing on them. Really cute. There's 8 of those. 8 of the mini envelopes with pattern paper design on them. And then this looks like soft suede cardstock color. The cards also have embossing on them. We have some little tags, and those just pop out. We have some circular tags. Those also pop out. Mini clothespins, baker's twine, mini dimensionals. Oh, and look how pretty these are. These are gold foil leaves. And then we have some leaf die cuts. These also just pop out. We got 1, 2, 3 sheets of those. I'm assuming there's extras. And then we have some branches. Looks like 1, 2, oh, wait a minute. The leaves are different colored on this one. So we have the green leaves and the crushed curry leaves, and there's 2 of each. And then we have the glue dots. So let me set everything aside. Oh, and I did forget to mention that when you open up the flyer, there is text and photo directions for you. So let me move this stuff aside and we'll make a couple projects. So I've taken everything out that I need for both projects. And I'm going to come in and stamp all the sentiments so I can show you what they say. I'm not wearing my glasses and I'm having a hard time reading the small ones. So this one says thank you. Keep calm and be thankful. Oh, that's kind of sweet. And be filled with thanks each day. So you can choose which ones you want to use. So we're going to start out with the 2 leaves. And I'm bringing my large ink pad in only because I don't open my small ones. I usually give them away as gifts. And we're going to stamp right on top of each leaf. And I am using the Stampin' Pierce mat. Oh, I messed up a little bit there. I didn't stamp hard enough. Let's see if we can do better on this one. Most of these leaves are going to be covered with other layers. Okay, that one came out nice. And I think I want to add one to my envelope also. Because you can always add a little address label on top. I just think that looks neat to have the envelope coordinating to the card. So now we're going to bring the leaves back in and we're going to layer them. And I'm going to start out with these two leaves and these two leaves. The glue dots is what we're going to use to glue these in place. So I'm just going to add like 2 of them to the longer branch. And just set this off to the side a little bit. And then we're going to do the same thing with the other branch. Now this one I added 3. It's so neat that you can carry these kits wherever you want and everything's in there for you. You don't have to worry about what else you need to bring for supplies. Okay, that's that first leaf. And then we're going to take the gold foil leaves, and those are peel and stick. This would make something nice too if you kept the outline of it. And that's going to go over the whole thing. So that's what that looks like. Isn't that pretty? And now we're going to do the same thing with the second one. And if you don't want to use the glue dots, you can always use multi-purpose glue or your snail. But for those of you that are new to stamping, this is the way to go. Now I'm going to add the branch on the opposite side on this one. And this one's green instead of the soft suede. And the crushed curry leaf. And then the gold foil. And you know there's 16 projects total, and there are a few extra elements here. So you can do them up a little differently if you want. It's your kit, so you're allowed to do what you want with it. So these are the 2 leaves that are now all stacked and ready to glue on your projects. The next step will be to stamp the sentiments. Now I've already gone ahead and added the bow on this one because I didn't want you watching me. I do have a band-aid on my finger and it takes me a little longer to get things done. So I'm going to use the one that says be filled with thanks every day. Those are cute. Now for the card, it's up to you if you want to fold it so it stands this way or sideways. The embossing is set so that you can do it either way. I'm going to use a bone folder. And just to save time, I'm going to bring in my snail. And I always like my cards this way for photographing purposes, so I'm going to keep it that way. It's easier for me to photograph my projects. And then I'm going to add dimensionals. Now on the instructions, it did say to use dimensionals for your leaves. I just opted to do this one flat because I'm going to use dimensionals on my tag. And because of my band-aid, you're supposed to tie the twine around the leaf stem, but it works this way too. So that's the first project. There's your card. And now we're going to assemble the pillow box. Now, if you've never done a pillow box before, they are pre-scored, and all you do is, it's easier if you just press to open it a little bit, and just press down on the score line. Normally the one with the tab is on top so you can open it. And we'll do the same thing on this end. And then the twine, I'm going to try to do this with my Band-Aid. I don't know how successful I'll be. You're going to tie the twine around twice. And then tie a bow at the top. I hope I can do this. It just makes it hard for me to grab is all. Now a little tip with this twine, it does twist, as you can see what it's doing. If you need to pull in your loops, the tip I have is I put my finger right on the knot and I pull, and that way it usually keeps the twine so it doesn't twist too much. Okay, so that one's all set, so I'm going to cut that off. And this one I will glue the leaves with the glue dot or the mini stamping dimensionals. And I'm just going to add them more towards the center because of the curved shape of the box. And that's going to go right below the bow. And the last step is to take your sentiment and put it on with the clothespin. So there's your two projects plus your envelope. So this is doing the projects the way that the kit is intended, and I'm going to show you some alternative ideas that I've done and explain them to you. For my first alternative project, I have one of each project, and what I did, I created like a little purse type holder for this one using the pillow box, and I used the Layering Ovals framelits dies, and this did go through the Big Shot and cut both layers at the same time. I just had to run it back and forth like 3 times for it to go through. And then I used some of our cotton ribbon to tie at the top, the crushed curry, and added the baker's twine around it to hold it in place. So the recipient could actually just untie this little bow to get into the inside of it. And then all I did was glue 3 of the leaves. The first 2 I used the mini dimensionals on a couple of the petals. And then I glued this one over the top and then added the tag with the clothespin. I made the card to coordinate by just layering the 3 leaves and gluing them in place. And then I just slid the sentiment layer under the leaves. So that makes for a cute little project. For my next set, I brought in some delicate lace doilies. I used 2 of those. I took one and wrapped it over the top and glued it in place on both sides. And then I wrapped the baker's twine with the tag on the baker's twine. And then I took, let me show you, I took one of the leaves, the bigger ones, and I just stamped. There's room for 3 leaves on this larger leaf, the die cut, and I just hand cut the leaf and glued it in place with a mini dimensional. So this one was pretty easy. And the card that coordinates that, I also just placed a doily right here in the front, glued it down, and then just flipped it over and trimmed around all 3 sides with my scissors. I glued the sentiment in place first with the baker's twine tied at the top. And then I have another hand cut leaf that I glued here and glued the yellow one over the top with stamping dimensionals. The last 2 projects that I have to show you are cards. The first one I used Whisper White as my card base. So 8.5 by 5.5, scored at 4 1/4 and folded. I took one of the smaller card bases and just trimmed it to fit on the end at 5.5 inches. And then I just layered a doily, the delicate doilies, a bunch of the leaves. I did hand stamp 2 of the small ones, and the 2 leaves, the 2 small leaves and the tag are both glued in place with the mini stamping dimensionals. And my last one, I used some of the gold leaves to create a background on a crumb cake cardstock base. Again, 5.5 by 8.5, scored at 4 1/4 and folded. And if I ended up cutting one of the leaves like you see here, whatever I cut off, I used on another end, so I didn't waste any. And then I added a strip of Whisper White that measures 1 1/4 by 5.5, stamped the thank you, glued a bunch of these leaves on, and then hand stamped and hand cut 3 of the leaves. So that's all I have today for all the alternate projects that I made. I still have some supplies left over. So I'll probably, if I do make more projects, you'll see them on my blog. And for those of you that are subscribers with me as your demonstrator, you know that you'll be getting your monthly newsletter with all of these ideas, plus from the team, the Paper Pumpkin Gurus team that I'm on, you'll get an additional 12 to 14 projects. So thanks for stopping by, and don't forget to subscribe for the October kit so you can get a coordinating October and November kit. Thanks.